I appreciate y'all attention, appreciate your time. So what I want to talk about this afternoon, and like I said, I know it's a holiday, so I'm not going to be on here forever like I usually am. But I do want us to talk about some things that are very, very important and that have everything to do with, like I said, with what we're celebrating, right? And that is Christmas. That's Christmas. And if y'all know anything about me, what I'm trying to do, y'all let me know if that light's bothering y'all. Let me know, and I'll turn it off. I think I need it. Actually, I might not. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, all right, that's better. Okay, so what I was saying was, if y'all know me in regards to that is, yeah, it was distracting. It was like it was my halo. So the thing is for me is if y'all know anything about the energy that I'm pushing, my intent. Every time I do this, I'm gonna reiterate and I'm gonna consistently let you guys know what my intentions are. I'm not here to embarrass. I'm not here to throw stones. I'm not here to insult. What I'm here to do is to invoke us to think for ourselves. I want us to analyze what we know, right? To look for holes, not find holes, not premeditate, just to look to see if there's anything leaking, and then if there is, we patch it up with the right information, and then we keep it moving. But the thing is this: it has to be done because these are the things that everyone is willing to put their chips on. These are the things that everybody's willing to quote unquote die for, right? These are the things that we spoon feed to our kids before they even know any words, and they are telling us about Jesus and everything before they even know where Jesus is. So we have to understand that whatever we are feeding our kids, whatever we are feeding our community, it has to be the healthiest and it has to be the most organic. It can't have no bullshit in it. We can't do that. So especially when it comes to the information, because what it does is it dictates the rest of our lives. It dictates how we treat each other. It dictates how we treat nature. It dictates everything, every aspect of society. So with that being said, this specific holiday, I can't remember. I've never had a bad Christmas. I can't even think of one. I can't think of one. Anytime, in that period of time when I was young and I believed in Santa, and even after that, even when I didn't believe in Santa, I knew my parents would give me presents. Christmas was always good. Christmas, I always got what I wanted, right? It's like it was always good, man. The movies, the Christmas trees, the music, and then the beautiful thing for me is that I got it on both sides of the world. It's like growing up in South Africa. It was summertime in the winter, you know what I'm saying? Or in winter, in December, in winter. It was summertime in December. And all right, bro, take it easy. Be safe, man. I'll see you next time, every Sunday at 4. But I'm pretty sure this live is going to be on for like the next 24 hours. So you can catch you later on, brother. Take it easy. And so it was summertime in December in South Africa. So I remember going to the beach around that time too, in December. I remember doing all that where it was hot. Like we were outside, we were cooking. Like I remember them times for Christmas. Then I also, when I moved here, I remember the snowy Christmases, right? With the snow and you know what I'm saying? Like you got the snowman and all of that, right? The hot cocos, the eggnogs, and right. I still eat eggnog ice cream. Like I'm gluten intolerant. Like I can't do gluten, but I will still buy the 3-pint eggnog and I'll smash it. And I know what I got to go through just because it reminds me of those times. So I had good times, regards to holiday, but nevertheless, I never knew the significance of the holiday. All I knew about it was nothing but presents. It was nothing but, everybody just is nice to everybody, right? I never knew what Christmas actually meant and why it was celebrated. What is the importance? Yes, in generality, I understood it was the birth of Jesus. Everybody understands that, right? We all get that, but in essence, you know what I'm saying? Like in the pure essence of it, right? Like why is it? Why is it? Why is that so important? So with that being said, I want us to break that down. And like I said, anything I talk about, y'all need to be able to look it up if y'all question it or take notes, whatever you want to do, take notes and look it up later. And I have, like I said, I have talked in those too, because some of the stuff I am just stumbling on myself. These are not things that I'm just, I'm like, damn, y'all should know this. Y'all should know this. A lot of us do not know this information. But this is what happens when we don't look for the information. This is what happens when you believe in something and when you have faith in something. Because when you have belief and faith in something, it is never leading to confirmation. If I believe the sun is shining outside, the only way for me to find out is if I move past the belief by going outside, right? That's the only way. If I have faith that the sun is shining outside, that's not getting me outside. But when I go outside, that's when I know. Now, I have past faith, I have past belief. When you know something, you don't have to believe or have faith in it. That's why it's very important that, like I said, what we instill in our kids in our future, we have to know. You can't go on belief, especially when it's something that somebody else gave you. We can't do that. We can't do that. So, with that being said, for me, what I started learning about in regards to Christmas and even just the holidays period, all of this stuff originates from the laws of nature. All of this stuff originates from the laws of nature. When it comes to the astrological way of looking at things, you see, what I'm starting to understand is, you all have ever heard of that saying, "As above, so below," right? What's up with it, Benny? Welcome, brother. Savage Dad, what's happening? Good to see y'all. So y'all have heard of the saying, as above, so below. That is exactly what I mean when I say these the events of nature, the events of climates, how we document years and seasons and all that type of stuff. We are documenting what is happening up there that affects us down here. So the best way for us to not only acknowledge that is to anthropomorphism. That's the right word. Anthropomorphism is basically the act of taking something and relating it to animal characteristics, right? Now, that is, for example, when you see the constellation of Taurus, right, or the Ram, or Sagittarius, and things like that. This is anthropomorphism, which is relating animal characteristics with non-human things. Now, the reason why we do this, like I said, is because it helps us remember. For example, let me give you a good example. The sun. The reason why the sun is so revered, the reason why we love the sun so much, and throughout all civilizations, the sun has been such a big thing, is because the sun has always been a life bringer, right? When the sun shines, photosynthesis, trees and flowers are blooming, right? And then what else happens? When it helps us, when we come outside, the vitamin D's and all that, right? So it brings life. And then when the sun leaves, things die. Wintertime, right? Animals go away, plants die, we go inside, it's cold, things are dead. So that was a very big thing. So the times when the sun was the closest, when it wasn't the closest, these were very important and detrimental, because if you didn't have enough food and you didn't know when the sun was going to duck, that was deadly for you, right? So it was imperative to document these things. It was imperative for us to log this information, going, look, when the sun starts getting away from us, we have to have enough food stacked up, right? So then that means you have to think about it. Okay, so if you got this certain white-tailed deer that lives here, and this white-tailed deer is a warm-blooded animal, right? So if the sun drops real soon, then we know we got to grab as many whitetails way before the sun starts dropping. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like the reason why we do these things is because it dictates how it affects us. Now, Christmas specifically was the time of the winter solstice, which was when, okay, I'll break it down. But it was on this side, on the northern hemisphere. Yes, on the northern hemisphere, it's the time of December, when it is the winter solstice. But in the southern hemisphere, it's in June, right? It's in June, because I remember that, because in South Africa, when it's summertime here in the Mays and the Junes, it's cold in South Africa. Vice versa. It's cold now here in December. They're at the beach back home. They're at the beach right now, or going to the beach, about to be at the beach, or they've been at the beach. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is this: at that time in December is the winter solstice. Now, solstice, the definition of solstice, that is when the solstice a solstice happens twice a year. Okay. And that is the highest and the lowest points in the sky the sun is at, right? So, like I said, the summer solstice, that's when it's up, right? It's the hottest time. It's up. It's at the highest point in the sky. Winter solstice, the lowest point in the sky, right? But nevertheless, just like the sun, and just like the story I'm about to tell you guys, the sun is always gonna die, and it's gonna rise. It's gonna die. It's gonna rise. That happens every day. But then, like I said, certain civilizations documented and either personified or through anthropomorphism, they turn these things into the Tauruses and the Sagittariuses and these figures to let us know what is going to happen. So, for example, Egypt, how I'm relating this to Christmas, the longest day amount of sunlight. Absolutely. So for example, right now it's December. We're in the winters. We're in the winter solstice, right? Excuse me. Welcome in. Appreciate you, mama. Okay, so we're in the winter solstice right now, which means the sun is the farthest away, and that makes sense. Why? Because it's cold up here, right? So what happens then has a lot to do with this holiday we call Christmas, because that's when Jesus was born. Okay, so now what happens is I want to show y'all this picture. I really want to show y'all this picture. Here, hold on. I want to show y'all this picture. I want to show y'all this because this has a lot to do with it. Okay. See, this right here is the zodiac. Okay. This zodiac, this was to basically illustrate and depict these acts and laws of nature. Okay. So you see all of here, like I said, y'all, this is the anthropomorphism of all the different acts of the stars and of nature, right? These are all the star constellations. And so they depict different times of the year, right? For example, the time of Aquarius. The time of Aquarius, where's he at? Right there. Time of Aquarius, right? The time of the water. When is the time of the water? Springtime. That's rain. You see what I'm saying? So that has a lot to do with how we name them is what effect they're having on the world. Okay. So now we are close to, this is December, right? This is Sagittarius. Boom. We're coming into all this right here. Okay. So why I'm showing you this is because this is very important. So all of these are the different months of the year, right? This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? These are all the different months of the year. And that's we need to know that. And also what the zodiac also depicts is the different seasons, like I said, boom, summer, spring, winter, autumn, right? And so and some of the other different zodiacs, and I'll show y'all, where is that at? Like, see, some of them, you see them, they have the sun in the middle. The sun is always in the middle. The sun is always in the middle. You see, the reason why is because based on how the sun revolves around these things is how they affect the world, right? So this is the sun, the light of the world, right? This is the light of the world, okay? We got to know that. Okay, I think that's all I got to show you about that picture. So that's the light of the world. And like I said, the only reason why we have the Leos, the Virgos, and all these different, like I said, these personifications and anthropomorphism that we're using is to help us remember, what is going to happen. Okay. Now, what else here? Okay, so I'm looking at my talking notes to make sure I'm hitting everything I gotta hit. Now the sun was personified by a lot of deities, including us, right? Including us, Jesus, the Son of God, right? Horus was another personification of Jesus. Horus was the son of Osiris, right? And now Horus was written about in, what does it say here? Around 1280 BC in the Book of the Dead. Now, there's more than one Book of the Dead, obviously, but the story of Horus, he was born of the virgin Isis. Now, I don't know if y'all know about that. Now, Isis, if y'all have ever seen, I'm gonna show y'all the pictures of Isis real quick. Here, where they at? I'm gonna show pictures because I want to show y'all the similarities that I'm starting to notice here. Now, this is Isis and Horus right here. This is Isis and Horus. Now, this is what I'm trying to show y'all, man. This is Isis and Horus from the Egyptian times, right? And then this is Jesus, Mary and Jesus. This is Mary and Jesus. Same story. Very similar depictions, right? But now, this is why, like I said, I'm showing, and the reason I'm showing this is because we have to understand that these stories, like I said, that they are telling us the laws of nature. It's just now different people have their own, versions and ideas of the same story. For example, the Greeks had Helios, right? And Helios was born the sun god. The Hindus had Krishna, and Krishna was born, I can't pronounce the lady's name, descended in the womb of Devaki and was born of her son. Okay. And Mithra, there was a religion called Mithraism. And that person was an Indo-Iranian mythology, and he was known also as the god of light. This is around 1400 BC. So these are just a couple of them that I grabbed out of my notes, that in regards to similarities of Jesus and the winter solstice, what the sun does, right? So we understand that the winter solstice, the sun dies, but then so I didn't think I fully explained the winter solstice. Now the sun dies December 24th, right? It is at its lowest point December 24th, and so then it rises back up, and that is the depiction of God, of Jesus, the Son of God, rising back up into the Southern Crux constellation. The Southern Crux constellation is when the sun is aligned with the Ceres star. The Ceres star, along with the three brightest stars of the Orion's Belt constellation. I'm going to say it again. The Southern Crux, CRUX, is when the sun rises back up from the winter solstice after being down for about 3 days, 2 to 3 days, something like that. But it rises back up into the alignment of the Ceres star and also the three brightest stars of the Orion's Belt, which they call the three kings. I don't know if y'all know that, but the story of Jesus in Bethlehem is that three kings are coming to give him frankincense and gold and all sorts of stuff, right? Because he's being born, right? And what star are they following? The star of the east, which is the Sirius star, which, side note, the Dogon tribe of Africa knew about the Sirius star hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, thousands of years before the telescope or the European even came over there. They knew about the Sirius star, and they also knew about the dwarf star that was right next to the Sirius star, which was quote unquote an invisible star. So, nevertheless, we're looking at how the sun is in alignment with the Ceres at the time of it rising, right? It's being born, and it's in alignment with Ceres, and also aligned with the three brightest stars of the Orion's Belt, called the Three Kings. Look at it right now. They call it the Three Kings constellation. Remember how I was talking about how we personify and we anthropomorphize these things because it helps us understand what it is having, what effect it's having on us, as above, so below. So now another thing is this. Horus's mother, Isis. Now let's relate her what Sean is saying. Shawana, what's she talking about? What is your take on the movies that they're making or putting messages in the movies? I'll definitely answer that question. But I I won't answer that right now, but I'm gonna hold on to it just because I was watching something that kind of touched on that. So let me hold, just please remind me. I need to hit this and then I'll answer that question for sure. So the thing is this, is that what happens is Horus, Isis. Horus, the mother of Horus is Isis, right? And Jesus, the mother of Jesus, is Mary. Now let's talk about Mary, because we need to show the similarities of her and the sky, her story and the sky. The same way I'm showing the similarity of Horus, Isis, and the sky. But now Mary is from the constellation. I'm grabbing from the back over here. I'm grabbing from this dread. I'm grabbing from this dread. There's a lot of information, but like I said, for me, the information is very, it's interesting, man. It's like water, because it's, like I said, it's so true. It's talking about what's going on up there. And then so many people, whether, I don't know who or why they did it, but like I said, they come up with these stories. But now when you start putting it together, you're going, well, hold on. People watch the sky and they said, and they called these constellations the Three Kings because they were so bright and stuck out on the Orion's belt. Why? Because the sun pops out and aligns with the Sirius star. And, for them to understand what that does to us, they created a story. And then they created many different types of stories. But not to digress, Mary is from the constellation Virgo, right? Virgo, if y'all know the symbol of Virgo, it's an M. Let me see if I can pull it up for you real quick. Excuse me. And also, just to show y'all what I'm talking about, I want to show y'all what I'm into. If y'all ain't looking it up, what I was just talking about is this right here, all right? This is the Sirius star, okay? And this is the Orion's belt constellation I was talking about. This is the Three Kings that I was talking about. So when the sun rises, it aligns with all this, which is why they said the Three Kings are following the sun, right? So now I want to show y'all Virgo real quick. Let me see. Is it here? Let me show y'all Virgo. Let me show the Virgo sign. See, you just Google Virgo sign. You see that right there? You just Google Virgo sign, go to images, boom. You see that? You see what that sign is? That's an M, a Virgo sign. It's an M. Y'all know why it's an M? Because that's for Mary. That Virgo sign, that's my god baby right there. That's my god baby Gracie. Yeah, that's the thing for the babies. It's like you got to hold on to the Jesus thing for them because you don't want to crush it, right? You understand? It's like you don't want to crush it for them. It's hard, but it's like at the same time it's not, because you got to give them this Jesus thing. Like, she's 5 years old right now. I'm telling her about Mary and Virgo, and what kind of sense is that going to make to her? You understand what I'm saying? So it's like Mary. You saw that her symbol is an M. You saw that. Now, the M is representative of also the house of bread, which is the constellation Virgo. And if y'all don't know this, but Bethlehem in Arabic translates into the house of bread. So the house of bread, which is also known as the constellation Virgo, is a constellation in the sky right now. And the place on earth where Jesus was born, the son, is called Bethlehem, which in Arabic translates into the house of bread. Okay, so are y'all catching on with me? Like, are y'all still with me? Okay, so what else here? What else did I want to talk about? The 24th, the lines, boom, boom. I hit that. The Virgin, boom. Oh, and that's another thing too. Is that, here, let me show y'all this. this is another thing too. Can I take a picture of this? This is the thing too. That you see, Mary, if we don't forget the fact that Virgo, okay, Virgo, what word do you see? Virgo, virgin, right? And if Virgo in Latin is virgin. So we have to understand that the depiction, the name alone, the name alone of who Mary is. Mary the Virgin Mary, Virgo, and the sign, which is M Mary. So, and like I said, Virgo in Latin means virgin. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. It's like, I hope y'all are seeing that as above, so below. What's happening up there is going to happen down here. It's that simple. And so, like I said, that it falls into the Southern Crux. I wanted to show y'all a picture of the Southern Crux. So I can see. So y'all can see what I'm talking about. So y'all can see what I'm talking about. Let me get a better picture here. You see, a lot of people, like I said, man, it's what's sad is that a lot of people, they don't know. You see, I don't know if y'all see that right there, but right there, you see how it's showing. That's the Southern Crux. That is, you see how boom, the sun. You see that? That's the Southern Crux, the constellation. It's in the stars. It's in the stars. It's in the stars. It's in the stars, folks. That's what people don't understand. So I need to get this charged up real quick. God damn it. Keep turning the phone. I'm sorry. So it's in the stars, man. That's what people don't understand. My phone about to die. I'm trying to put this charger back in. Now, like I said, that these stories, folks, we have to understand that these weren't people that walked around. It wasn't people that walked around. Helios, Horus, Krishna, like these are all the same stories, but with different people, because there were different times. But then we have to understand that we are looking at it like there was really a person that was born in a manger out in Bethlehem. And mind you, too, if that was happening, like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure desert nights are cold, but it was hot over there. It's summertime over there. It's not fucking wintertime. It ain't cold. They could have stayed outside. They could have had them a fucking campfire. It would have been just fine to have a kid. If that what was going on. So we have to understand that this stuff is based on astrology. It's all astrology. It's all astrology. It has nothing to do with somebody who, you know, was born of a virgin and they came out, you know, they came out the womb with no sex, and then three dudes followed a star out of nowhere and found them, like some GPS shit. That shit is not true. It's not true. I'll tell you what is true, is that the sun does drop and it gets cold. I know that. And then I know when it comes back up, it gets warm, right? And I understand the fact that when the sun drops and it gets cold, sometimes the crops die. And sometimes that could signify or symbolize death. When the sun comes back up, these crops come back. That can also signify and symbolize life. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically kind of my main breakdown in regards to the Christian idea of Christmas and why we celebrate it, right? So like I said, whether you believe it or not, I understand the idea of being nice to each other around this time. I understand the idea of being festive, get the lights out. I took the guy baby to go see them lights over in Yukon. She loved every little bit of it. You know, I understand that, and I think it's a beautiful thing when kindness is that contagious. What's unfortunate is that it all dies after December 25th. And December 26th, people go back to being the racist assholes or the belligerent motherfuckers they are. You know, so what I don't respect is that the energy and the spirit of Christmas is not used and personified, or not even personified, it's not used and manifested on the everyday basis. And then not only on the everyday basis, on everyday interactions, right? Even interactions that haven't happened. I feel like if people carry the same ideology, energy, whatever you want to call it, when they are in the mode of Christmas, if they carry that on to December 26, 27, 28, and then January, all through January and then February and every other day, this world would be a better place and we would get to a better place. And I wouldn't even be having these discussions with y'all about stories that are made to make some people think they're real when motherfuckers don't even know the shit is real. Like, that's what I'm saying. So when I started reading about this, I'm going, what the fuck? Like this whole time, I'm really picturing there was some white kid in the desert who was born of a virgin, you know, and there was these dudes who just had to get there and give him gold and frankincense and whatever the fuck else that they said the three kings had to give him. Like I thought that shit was real. But like I said, I feel that for us, we have a less of an understanding if we believe the dumbass stories that were used for us to remember the laws and the acts of nature. It's dumb of us to hold on to the stories as opposed to what the stories were telling us, as opposed to what the stories were trying to depict and illustrate. It is dumb of us to hold on to them stories. Like that's what I'm saying. We're so convinced of a Jesus, we ain't worried about what he came for and what his mission was. Why was he even here? Why is this story even so important? We're not even about that. We're just so busy on, well, Jesus, you just need to be baptized by Jesus and go to heaven and be saved. That's all you need to know. That's not how we need to be. We need to understand, why are we signing the book? Why are we signing our life away for this? Why are we willing to do this? And a lot of y'all, I'm going to put you on Front Street. I'm going to put you on front. A lot of y'all are willing to die for this Jesus and don't know shit about him. Y'all couldn't tell me anything about him. If I ask y'all something about Jesus, a lot of y'all can't tell me shit about it. But y'all are not only willing to put your kids through the Jesus thing, but y'all are willing to die for him too. Or at least you tell us that you're willing to die for him. You see what I'm saying? So we got to understand what we are living for, especially what we're willing to die for. We have to understand it. We have to understand it thoroughly. What we are living for, and most importantly, what we're going to die for. Why we celebrate? Why we celebrate it? Why are we celebrating this? And even, the fact of who thought of, who made it this date? Who calls it? Why we call it Christmas? Why? It's like we got to look these things up. We got to look these things up because we have to find out what significance it has on us. Because when we find that out, then we can go back and find out what significance it has on the rest of the world. As above, so below. As above, so below. So I think I had one more topic that I wanted to tell. Let me ask you a question. Okay, what was your take on the movie? Okay, so that's another thing too, is that in regards to how movies depict, actual historical events, right? This is what I can't stand about movies. Let me tell you what I can't stand about them. Is that most of the time, they are historically accurate when it comes to the movie. Let me give you a good example. Just a few days ago, I was watching The Gods of Egypt, right? I know you've seen that with Gerard Butler and a bunch of other white people who wouldn't survive if they lived in Egypt. Why? It's because it's hot in Egypt. It's the fucking sun. It's bright. So Gerard Butler wouldn't look like Gerard Butler if he lived in fucking Egypt. If Gerard Butler lived in Egypt, he would look like a goddamn damn near a Cuban if he lived in Egypt. All the people that they had in that movie would have looked like Cuban. They would have looked Cuban. They would have been burnt, number one. But if they could handle it, they would have looked Cuban. That's number one. Number two, they were historically accurate in regards to, man, I mean, they really were. Like Hathor, for example, the god of love, which was Horus's girl, whatever, right? Instead, he took her. I don't know if y'all remember the hat she was wearing. It was the exact same depiction of the hat she wears with the circle, which is like that. I forgot the symbol of love or some shit like that. Oh, no. It's the symbol of the calf, which meant fertility. That's what it was. It's a symbol of the calf, which meant fertility and reproduction and shit like that. That's what it was. But it went like this and it was like a circle. Like even those little things. What else did they have? The whole thing about them being giants, Thoth being black, the green around Thoth, because Thoth was big on emerald. The emerald thing was Thoth, right? The emerald tablets. So the gem, whatever, the natural resource emerald and the green thing is very Thoth. And that was a lot of it in the movie. So historically, they are accurate with the information. That's why I know that it's bullshit when they put someone like Gerard Butler or the other white dude as the main actors about a movie in Egypt. But like I said, that's the same shit of calling Tom Cruise the last fucking samurai. That's the same shit. It don't make no sense. How the fuck is the last samurai gonna be some white dude? How the fuck is Set and Horus gonna be some white dude? It just doesn't make sense. So when I say it doesn't make sense, I'm saying to us, we should understand that it's a middle finger to us because they know what color peoples are. They know what color the people are on those walls of Egypt. They know. If they know all that shit about Thoth, like I said, from him, the emerald tablets and the green, all that shit, if they know all of that detail, you don't think they didn't just look up at the wall and see the brown skinned people that were up there? And then the brown skin depictions of Horus, the brown skin depictions of Hathor, the shot of Hathor, dreadlocks. Let me show y'all. I'll show y'all pictures of Hathor. Hathor statues. Give me Hathor statues. Give me them Hathor. Give me the Hathor. Give me the Hathor statues. Give me the Hathor. They're gonna have she gonna have the dreadlocks. This one, can I see that? That's a little faded. But those are the, she'll have the dreadlocks. And that one lady on there, she didn't have no dreadlocks. The lady didn't have no dreadlocks on there. This hat right here. This is what I was talking about. It's this right here. Can you see that? Boom. So the depictions of people are very intentional. That's one thing I've understood, is that the depictions of them are very intentional in regards to what message and what visual appearance that they're trying to convey. But for me, here we go. Here we go. Look at that. See, I'm telling y'all, man, I'm trying to tell you, like, I would have had my other ones, but she is somebody who is just like most of these goddesses, man, it's like the skin color, especially when you live in a place where it's predominantly hot, it will never, you are never gonna be that, you are never gonna be that pale. I mean, it's just that simple. So yeah, they know what they're doing. Just to answer your question, they know what they're doing. And up to us, like I said, it's either we make our own movies and we take back the control, or I do, we do what I'm doing right now, is that we make it a point to point out the inconsistencies. For example, the Wonder Woman movie. The Wonder Woman movie, those women, the Amazon women, right? And they say they come from some planet in the movie. But those were real women here from the Dahomey tribe, the Amazonian women. And those are women from the Dahomey tribe here in Africa. And they were warrior women that had all women army, and they were banging on the rest of the world. And even a lot of empires hired them as mercenaries, and they were a threat, you know what I'm saying, and a force to be reckoned with. But these Amazonian women really existed, and they were from the Dahomey tribe. But then you got this white lady playing Wonder Woman, and that's an Amazonian woman. And that lady looks far from the real Amazonian woman from the Dahomey tribe. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, to be honest with you, it shouldn't matter what movies they make as long as we know our history. I could give a damn, to be honest with you. Especially, and you know what? I say that now just because I'm happy that I know where I come from, and then I know where my people come from and why they do what they do, is because, it's like that little kid that always wants to be their big brother. That's why they make these movies and they put themselves there, because who are the heroes in these movies? We are. So that's why it's like when they make these movies, they know that these people are dark skinned, but they're gonna put themselves there, because who did you want to play when you did story, when you did make believe, and when you're playing with, who did you want to play? You wanted to play the hero. You wanted to play the hero. You know what I mean? So it's like the more I learn, the more I understand. I'm going, oh, so look, I'm not excusing it. Don't get it twisted. But like I said, I understand that it's very twisted form of flattery. It's just twisted form of flattery. You understand what I'm saying? It's all it is. Is that it's I see you, Savage Dad. It's something where people that are they can't help but to acknowledge something so much greater than. And then the only way they can show reverence to it is to put themselves in that place. Like I said, like the only time when you make believe in a movie and you was Arnold Schwarzenegger, or you was whoever you played Arnold Schwarzenegger. You didn't worry about him being white, black, anything, right? You like, I'm fucking Arnold, I'm Stallone, whatever, I'm Rocky, right? That's how you did it. Who wanted to be Apollo back then? Nobody wanted to be Apollo back then. Everybody wanted to be fucking Rocky, right? So I'm saying, so it's like when you see something that great, you want to make yourself that. You want to make yourself that. So that, I see why they copy. That's why, like I said, but for us, we need to understand that when we know our history, when we know our origins, it's like I get it. Like to me now, like I laugh. I'm like, these motherfuckers, damn, you really walking around in Egypt and you still that white? Shit, bro, you ain't got no tan yet. Hey, yo, it bugs me out when I see that shit. Like when I watch movies, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, and it's not the right people, so they don't match the environment of the movie because they're lying. That's what I'm sitting watch. I'm like, this dude ain't got no tan. All the sun, motherfucker, you ain't got no tan. It's the same shit. Like what I watch. Let me show y'all. Let me show you another thing too. Like Jesus and the Halo. Like this should be cracking me up. This is the same shit right here. Watch. Let me show y'all this. So look at this. So y'all see Jesus right here, right, with the halo, the sun beating on. All this sun, bro. This dude ain't got no tan. Like this is what I never understood. Like they never put that together. Like this. Look how pale he is right here, and the sun beating on him, and he still, bro, ain't got not one shade of tan on him. Not one bit. You see, the funny thing is that they can't get away from the sun, bro. They can barely handle the Oklahoma sun without getting burnt. You ain't lying, Savage Dad. You ain't lying one bit. So, like, it cracks me up because if, like I said, if you know your history, this shit it's comedy because you know you like there's there's nobody with that fair skin can stand in the sun like that. That is an oxymoron. That shit don't. That's oil and water, bro. You can't do that. There's no man that can stand in front of the sun like that and not have a some kind of tint to him. You have to have. You will have some kind of tint to you, man. You know. So the last thing you should be, the last thing you're gonna be is the son. You know, the son God or the son of God because you're the farthest thing from the goddamn sun. Uh, if you were that close to the sun, you'd be dark, like most people who are close to the sun. So that's about it, man. Like I'm gonna wrap it up on that point. That at the end of the day, I'll just kind of make my little closing. At the end of the day, we have to understand the fact that we are living and we are celebrating acts of nature that were personified and through anthropomorphism were injected into stories and into our calendars and into our lives. And these things are only here for us to learn and understand the laws and the acts of nature and how they affect us. So, for example, just a quick summary. The sun at this time, Christmas is celebrating the birth of Jesus, which is the birth of the sun. That's the winter solstice, right? That's the sun dropping and coming back up and aligning with the Ceres star, the star of the east. And it also aligns with the three brightest stars of the Lion's Belt, which is the three kings, okay? Which is the birth of the sun. Okay, so we have to understand that this is just telling us about what's going on up there. And the mother of the sun is Mary. Mary is based on the constellation Virgo. Virgo is the symbol M. Virgo in Latin is virgin, the Virgin Mary, right? Virgo, the constellation Virgo is also known as the house of bread. The house of bread in Arabic is what is Bethlehem, down here on earth. In Arabic, Bethlehem means the house of bread. Okay, so we have to understand that these correlations are for a reason. They are for a reason. So I'm gonna end it on that note, folks. I appreciate your time. Shawana Stewart, thank you for your time, Mama. Savage Dad, thank you for your time, bro. We need to link up and get it in like we talked about. We got to conduct that business. Nicole, thank you, Queen. I appreciate your time. Benny, good to see you, my bro. Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for your time. Who else in here? Actor John Halfacre. Thank you for your time, my dude. Hopefully you see this. Kanisha McKenzie. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Hey, Vio, cousin, I love you. Thank you. Love you. Yeah, I think that's everybody. Yo, I appreciate y'all, man, for real. So look, I know it's that time. So handle your business. I know it's the holidays. Do what you got to do. But just keep in mind what you're celebrating and why you do it. If you don't know, go find out. Find out how much relevance it has to you and your people and your history, your culture. All right. So peace. With that being said, peace. Y'all have a good night. And I might jump back on later on tonight. And I gotta practice some guitar. So I was thinking I might practice throw y'all along with me. So I might do that later on tonight. More than likely I will. So thanks for your time, man. I'll holler at y'all. Peace. She cried.